Well, hi everyone, it's Andy here. I trust you are fantastically well and trust you're having a brilliant week. And I really trust that you have been going into the gift zone every day just to pick up on those daily tasks. It's really important that you build the muscle, that you, whilst we're in the middle of the program, that you put the effort and the energy into working with these practices so you start to establish winning routines and winning habits. And here I am. I have just completed my fourth marathon of 2019. One of my goals is to run the equivalent of a marathon a week every week. So that's 42.2 kilometers, 52 weeks of the year. And I've just finished my fourth marathon, and I'm feeling really amazing about that actually. But it's another really hot day here on the Gold Coast. So excuse me if I am a little sweaty on the back of that, but there's something about setting really big goals and then breaking it down into bite-sized chunks. And I've got a very visual representation of that goal sitting right in front of me on the wall there, just simply listed the numbers 1 to 52. And I had the pleasure of striking out number 4 just before coming on this call. And what we're really going to focus on for this session, and also part of the following session, is building some muscle around goal setting. And I know it's something that very few people in the world have a clearly articulated set of goals that they've written down and they can articulate to others. And I'm going to give you a little bit of research in a little while, which evidences how much more successful those people are than everyone else in the general population. And it's something that a lot of people really struggle with. And either they set the goals so big that it overwhelms them and they never take any action at all, or they set very incremental goals that really they can do without getting out of bed, and it just takes them a little bit out of their comfort zone and doesn't really take their life forward. And I'm going to give you through this session and part of the final session some really good content and frameworks around setting and obviously taking action in the direction of achieving those goals. Now, this is more of a masterclass, so you will need to have your journal with you, and we're going to be pausing for a few minutes at a time so you can really work on this during the session. This is one of the sessions where I want you to actually do some work whilst you're watching this particular program. Before we do that, I just want to share a text exchange from one of my great coaches, and that's my youngest daughter, Lily, who is now 10, but this was from when she was 7. And my amazing wife, Leona, who she's my accountability buddy. She picks me up. She's the wind beneath my wings. And she really enables me to build my self-confidence, build my self-belief, build my self-esteem, and really keep pushing in the direction of the life of our dreams. And I strongly recommend, if you haven't locked into an accountability buddy already, or you just had one conversation with your accountability buddy and then you dropped it, that you pick up with someone and you just really help each other. You're the wind beneath each other's wings. You help each other soar to new heights, and you keep pushing yourself on. You keep challenging each other to make sure that you're taking this great content and really begin working with it. I also would love you to start thinking about a potential testimonial you could do for me at the end of the program. I'd love you to do a video testimonial, build your confidence in front of camera. Just pick up your phone, a little Facebook Live testimonial that I can use would be absolutely amazing. And if you would be willing enough to recommend me to just one person who could come on the next program, then I'll just love you forever. That would be absolutely, truly amazing. Anyway, back to Lily. When Lily was 7, she gave me one of the best pieces of advice I've ever received in my life. And Leona and I had just been away to Las Vegas. We've got a health and wellness business. They have an annual conference every year in Las Vegas. I don't particularly like Las Vegas, but it's always an amazing time. It's an incredible conference. And, we just had this absolutely brilliant time. And then we traveled back with Qantas. Since the 1st of January, I haven't touched alcohol, and I don't intend to touch it until our anniversary on the 25th of March. It's one of those things. It's a downhill habit. I'm not at my best the following day, and I've got such massive goals. I really need to be performing at my optimum level each and every day. And obviously the health and wellness benefits speak for themselves as well. I'm just sleeping beautifully well, and I just feel amazing. Combination of the running, the self-development, the 4M routine, no alcohol, great diet, well hydrated, etc., etc. Anyway, this particular flight back via San Francisco from Vegas, we'd traveled with Qantas, and we'd enjoyed a little bit too much red wine. And we're in our bedroom. This was before we moved to the Gold Coast in Sydney. And I had a big day in the office the following day. and my mother-in-law was over from Scotland, and she'd let Lily stay up. So Lily's in our bedroom, Leona and I are talking, and Leona's going, so tell me about tomorrow, what's going on tomorrow? And I uttered the words that tomorrow was going to be a really ugly day. It was what was called a quarterly business review, when as a general manager, I'd have to go in front of the board of the bank, the executive of the bank, and present my business for 2 hours, and then just be subject to some, fairly straight talking Q&As, and not the most pleasurable experience in my corporate career. And I just happened to remark to Leona it was going to be an ugly day. And Lily was there in the bedroom, and she obviously was picking up on everything we were talking about. So it's now 7 o'clock the next morning. I'm on the ferry traveling into work, into Circular Quay in the middle of Sydney, and I get this text from Lily. Hi, Daddy. I miss you so much. Be amazing at work today. Now, every single day when Lily heads off to school, we have a little routine. I say the words, be, and she replies, amazing. I go, be, she goes, amazing. I go, be, she goes, amazing. It's become like a family routine. I want to leave feeling really positive, feeling really optimistic, feeling full of possibility. And I want to fill her head with really, really good stuff. And it's become a bit of a family catchphrase. So just before I'm going on stage to give a big conference delivery, I get this text from Leona going, be amazing. And it's just become, a real call to arms within the Fell family. And at the back of the What Winners Do journal, where it talks about the things to be proud of, I call mine my Be Amazing list. So that's where I go to if I need the occasional pickup. I go to my Be Amazing list, the Be Proud list at the back of the journal. I start reading and it really picks me back up. So anyway, here she is, 7 years old, and she's playing my words back to me. So it goes, be amazing at work today. Great coaching. Forget about an ugly day. Think of a happy day. Love you lots and lots. See you soon, Lily. So I play along thinking this must be Leona. She's, Lily's only 7. So I go back. I will think happy. Thanks for the coaching moment, Lily. So she comes back. It's okay. I remember you saying you were having an ugly day today last night. Get this, 7 years old. Life is too short for ugly days. Can't wait to see you tonight. And I really want you to think about it. Something I remember all of the time. Life is too short for ugly days. I need to maximize, each and every single day. And I constantly go from that, life is too short to ugly days, to the Richard Branson, if only test when I'm sitting there, 90 years old, sitting in my rocket chair, looking back on life going, if only I'd done this, I could have done that, I should have done that. And it drives me just to really maximize the value I can get from each and every day. I truly want to live a life that's successful but also significant. I think about my legacy. I think about giving before getting. I think about the difference I can make to my life, to Leona's life, to our children's lives, to the bigger community, to lots of people like you. And it really, really makes me push myself to just be the best version of me. And it's just an amazing place to live. And most people will settle. Most people will live for a mediocre life. And then they'll get to that Richard Branson test and go, I wish I had my time again. Not me. I'm going to give it absolutely everything. Smash out those 52 marathons. And I'm also going to share a load of my other goals in the gift zone as well. So think about that. Life's too short for ugly days. You've got to be amazing each and every day. And think about that Richard Branson test. So what are we going to do today? Well, by now you should be building some muscle. You should be experimenting. You should be out of the cave. If you're still in the cave, you need to get out of the cave. We've only got 2 weeks to go. Those 2 weeks are going to go very, very quickly. The daily tasks are there to remind you of some of the key things that we talk about in the sessions, and for you to build the muscle and experiment. And it's been brilliant the way some of you have been commenting in the gift zone, and I'm giving you practical examples of how I can adapt the 4M routine to my circumstances, or how I can work in visualization or affirmation, and all of the other set techniques that we've talked about, really giving you the opportunity to maximize, your diary and make sure you're getting real value from each and every day. And also thinking about those debriefs. And that's something I'm working on. I'm really enhancing 2 things this year already. One is my debriefs, and the other one is my sleep routine, my pre-sleep routine. And I really believe I've perfected that. I'm just sleeping like an absolute baby, which I find a really interesting expression because babies don't sleep all night. Anyway, I'm sleeping amazingly well. And you can tell I've just been on the treadmill. I'm absolutely buzzing. I'm full of energy. This is why movement's so important. My brain is just wired after I've been exercising. Adrenaline's flowing, thoughts are flowing, ideas are flowing. I catch them in the mind cleanse, and then I can meditate. And then when I have my Mozart time, my mind's clear, so I can really, really think. I get my subconscious working on some of these great ideas that have come up whilst I've been exercising. So, take notes through this session, and then I need you to keep coming back to it and really work on this over the next week. Use the gift zone. Use me. I'm here to help. You know, I want every single person who's part of this program to soar to new heights by being the wind beneath your wings. So please continue to use the gift zone. Message me if you need to, and let's make sure we help you get out of the cave and stay out of the cave. So we're going to focus on goals, but to give you a bit of context, why is this so important? Now, on my more extended programs, I spend a lot longer than this, but I want to start by sharing with you what I call the A-frame for success. So what I want you to do on your piece of paper, page of your journal, is write down, as I'm just doing here, but you need 8 of them, not 5, is just write down the letter A 8 times underneath each other. This is the A-frame for success. This is a checklist you can carry with you for the rest of your life and keep coming back to it. And I like to look at it and say, well, which part of the A-frame isn't quite working for me? And it really makes me think about where I need to put some focus, some attention, and some energy. So the A-frame for success. And now this is something that really separates winners from the average. Now, against the first A, write ability. Ability. Now, ability only gets you into the game. Now, when I joined the RBS as a young graduate, there were 60 graduates on the retail program. And at the end of the week, we all gathered for a cheese and wine with some of the executives. And when I looked around that room, I remember saying to myself, if you rank those people on in terms of their intelligence, their IQ, if you like, I reckon I would have been in the bottom, certainly the bottom 10 out of the 60. There's some incredibly smart people in that room, really intellectually capable. However, 20 years later, when I was fortunate enough to be made redundant at the height of the GFC, there's probably about 50 out of the 60 still with the organisation. Very different to today. You know, people were very loyal to the company that they started with. And yet, I was in the bottom 10 in terms of intellectual capability. 20 years later, when I was fortunate enough to be made redundant, I was by far the most senior when you ranked people in terms of the organisational hierarchy. Bottom 10 for intellect, most senior in terms of the organisational hierarchy 20 years later. Ability only gets you into the game. Ability does not win the game. And my instinct was reinforced by a lady called Angela Duckworth, who wrote a book called Grit. And no need to read the book, but she says her research backed up my instinct, if you like. She said that only 5 to 6% of your success is driven by your IQ. It's driven by your intelligence. She puts the rest down to 2 things: your passion and your ability to persevere. Now, they kind of are encompassed in the rest of the A-frame. Now, if you're self-employed, if you're an entrepreneur, or if you want to go that way, in the original gift zone, which everyone here is welcome to join, just request to join the gift zone, the original gift zone. I did an additional 60-minute session, which I'll tag you into, which is for entrepreneurs, for the self-employed, for people who are thinking at some point in their life they might want to become self-employed, or people who are thinking about a little side hustle. The nature of work is going to change. Lots of people in corporate employment will lose their jobs in the next 10 years. Therefore, you know, people are starting to think about side hustles, you know, a business, home-based business, etc., etc., etc. And I'll tag you into that 60 minutes. And it's my 6 Ps, actually. You know, Angela's got her 2. I've got my 6 Ps for those of us who are entrepreneurs, who are self-employed. So ability is the first A. It only gets you into the game. The second A is attitude. I want you to write down the word attitude. Now, I used to think all I needed to do each and every day was turn up to work with a positive, can-do, optimistic, eagle-to-eagle, player-to-player type attitude, and life would just be amazing. Now, I do believe attitude will win the game, and as you know from the earlier session, I do believe you have to operate 100% from the player's mindset. You know, if you fall to victim, cynic, or spectator, then you're going to live a less than complete life. You're never going to live to your true potential. You certainly can't lead from any place but the player zone. So your attitude needs to be linked to the third A. The third A is ambition. So write down ambition. And ambition is normally articulated through a series of goals. So ambition, and then write down the word goals. Famous Harvard and Stanford Business School case studies, which evidence that only 3 to 4% of people have clearly articulated goals that they've written down. Now, in those studies where they track those students over a 20-year period, the 3 or 4% that had clearly articulated set of goals that they'd written down massively outperformed the remaining 96, 97%. That was in terms of financial success, which I know is only one measure of success, but it's quite an interesting measure for this particular study. So purely by having a set of goals, writing it down, they outperformed the remaining 96 to 97%. Amazing. Now, in the Stanford case study, they actually got a number to present their goals to the rest of the room. So articulated set of goals, written down, spoken to the rest of the room. The 2% who did that outperformed the remaining 2%, which massively outperformed the remaining 96%. Blew my mind when I first heard that. Hence, I've always been a very active goal setter. I'm going to share with some of my techniques tonight and again next week. But this is giving you the context of why it's so important. So ability will get you into the game. Attitude will win the game as long as you link it to your ambition as articulated by a set of goals. And then you have to apply yourself. Now, this is where deep work comes in. This is where Mozart time is so important. You have to apply yourself. You have to really think about how you're going to achieve those goals. And you have to avoid distraction. Daniel Goleman, the guy who invented emotional intelligence, he's written a book called Focus. It's a really tough read, unless you're an avid reader, and maybe try the Audible version. But he's really talking about, in today's world, it's so easy to get distracted. If you live by this, that's a real challenge, because you can't do deep work when your phone is close to you. If every time it pings, you've got a text or an SMS, you've got an email, you've got some in one of your notifications are on for your social feeds, you're distracted. And if you're distracted, the research in America shows that less than 50% of people, once distracted, go back to the work that they were doing before. So you have to apply yourself. You have to avoid distractions. That's why Mozart time is time for yourself, by yourself, with yourself, without technology, just you and your journal, really thinking about what matters most and avoiding distraction. If you work in an open plan office, think about that. Purely someone coming and saying, hey, Lisa, would you like a cup of coffee? Bang, you are out of the ideal performance state. There's a less than 50% chance you'll get back into that state and get back to whatever you were working on. So that's the 4th A, the ability to apply yourself, think, and avoid distraction. And then the 5th A, massively important, clearly, is actions. The future belongs to action-orientated people. And I used to work for an amazing CEO by the name of Gail Kelly in the Westpac Group, just a phenomenal human being. And I never forget the first time when I heard Gail speak in what's called a People Leaders Forum in Brisbane. I was the MC for the event, so my job was to obviously welcome Gail, introduce Gail, talk a little bit about what was going on in the state of Queensland, and then Gail as the CEO would come up and address the audience. And she spoke like this. She said, the problem with Westpac Group people is this. They go, ready, they go, aim, they go, aim again, they go, aim again. And if they ever get round to shooting, the customer's already banking with the ANZ, which is a rival bank here in Australia and New Zealand. And then she went on to say, I want action-orientated leaders. And she spoke about, she felt one of the things that held so many people back is procrastination, is overthinking, is thinking about thinking. And it's the ability to make a start. The only way to start is to start and take action, linked to your ambition. So taking, conscious action in the direction of your goals. So ability will get you into the game. Attitude will win the game, as long as it is linked to your ambition. And then you can apply yourself and take consistent action in the direction of your goals. Now, a massively important point here is that I took Gail's words and I translated it into my little phrase, which I used in the first session. I decide what I'm going to do, I commit to it, and then I go at speed. But the commitment stage is really important. If I am not committed, I do not start. You need goals where, it means so much to you. You will find a way to deliver it. You'll find a way to achieve it. It'll keep you going in the tough times. That's why I go through that commitment stage. If you're not committed, my advice is not to start. People would save an enormous amount of time if they didn't start things they weren't truly committed to. So I really want to think about that. So actions is the 5th stage. The 6th stage is affirmations. bombarding your subconscious mind with positive reinforcement. Now, affirmations is just one form of coping strategies, and I've shared a few of my others. You know, the winning circle, the screensaver, the symbols and the images, the rhinos, the Yodas of this world, the things I'm happy and grateful for, my be amazing list, the symbols that I can see all around my office, the shirts on the walls, the little motivational quotes I've got there. These are all coping strategies. It's all a way to reinforce my subconscious mind that I'm capable of achieving whatever I want to achieve. And the affirmation and the coping strategy stage, if you've got big goals, you'll have good days and you'll have tough days. And they're what keeps you going through the tough days. You know, as well as a great coach, a great mentor, a program like this, invest in yourself, invest in yourself, invest in yourself. That is the sixth stage. To have that brilliant system that we've shared in the first two programs around, you know, a rock solid system that gets you into the ideal performance state, that helps you stay in the ideal performance state. And if you get knocked, it's the rhino rationale to get you back into the ideal performance state. So you keep moving, you persevere, to use Angela Duckworth's. You're mentally strong, you've got the resilience, you've got the persistence. The positive self-talk outweighs the negative self-talk. The seventh A is adaptability or agility. So write that down. Adaptability or agility. And that is the ability to pivot, you know, and that definition of insanity, you know, if you keep doing the same things and expect to get different results, then, you know, that's the definition of insanity. You know, occasionally when you're down the track, you need to stop, you need to take stock, you need to use some Mozart time, think, well, is this really working for me? It's about continuous improvement. Is there a better way to do this? Innovation is not invention. It's seeking continuous improvement. Slight pivots, slight adapts that take you in a different direction. It's using what I spoke about in the last program, that learn, copy, and add your 10%. In this case, it may be learn, adapt, and add your 10%. And it's brilliant to see that some of you are taking, you know, if you think about myself, I had the Savers routine, which I converted into the 4M routine. And some of you are now converting it into the routine that works for you. And it's all about creating your winning habits rather than slavishly trying to follow something that actually needs a little bit of, you know, adaptability, agility to take it in a different direction. And the final A is achievements. And why do achievements matter? Yeah, they matter because they make us feel great. They matter because they build our self-belief, they build our self-confidence, they build our self-esteem. This is why celebrating the plus ones, the personal bests, for those of you that lead other people, personal bests matter. Create a personal best culture. It gives you masses of reasons to praise and celebrate. You know, and if someone's going from 2 to 3, that's brilliant. And then they'll go from 3 to 4. Not everyone can immediately be at 25 or whatever the top of the class level is. You know, we've got to celebrate the incremental wins. That builds belief, it builds confidence, it builds self-esteem. And the other things that achievements do, it gets you out the cave. It keeps you out the cave. You know, it gets people out of their comfort zone. It encourages people to stretch until you get to a stage in life where I've got to, where you're able to go massive with your goals and live in kind of these massive thoughts. You know, one of my goals is to break into the American and Canadian speaking market. And I had no idea how I was going to do that, but my subconscious is working on it and I'm working on it and taking lots of actions. And I got an email just this morning from someone. My name has been put forward to speak at the biggest football coaching convention in the world in 2020. I'm not sure where in the States it is yet. I'm not saying I'm going to get the gig, but if I hadn't put that massive goal out there and started working on it, my name would not be on that list. Whether I get the gig or not is irrelevant. The fact is that's way further than I've got ever before in terms of speaking at a big conference in the United States of America, and it's not even the end of January, along with running my 4 marathons, you know, launching my What Winners Do live events in the United Kingdom and all of the other goals that I'm working on that I'll share with you in due course. So that's the A frame for success. That is a checklist that you can take with you for the rest of your life and keep coming back to it. You know, if things are not going exactly the way you want them to go, keep coming back, keep checking back to that. Why is it? You know, is my ambition not high enough? Am I not taking enough action? Am I getting too many distractions? Am I not applying myself? Are my coping strategies, you know, not working for me? I'm not working my affirmations enough, or my screensaver, it's not compelling enough, or I haven't, you know, used my winning circle, my ego to ego group enough, or I'm not being adaptable, I'm not being agile, I'm just keeping down the same track when maybe I should be pivoting. Massively helpful framework that I've used for a great amount of time. And really interesting, somebody who attended the first What Winners Do program, he said, I remember when I heard you talking in the late 1990s about your 3 A's. And as you can see over time, it's built from 3 A's to 4 A's to 5 A's to 6 A's, and now it's 8 A's. There is the checklist for success, the A-frame of success. Okay, so that's all by way of setup. Now you see the importance of putting a system around goals rather than just throwing some things at the wall and saying, that's what I want to achieve. You've got to have everything else locked in. So now we're going to step out. We're going to go big. We're going to go into dream state. And I'm going to pause for 5 minutes. I really want you to spend some time here in the moment while you're energized, while you focus. You know, get a clean page of your journal in the Mozart section. And I want you to dream big. You know, just throw off all limiting beliefs. I want you to pick a meaningful date, at least 5 years out, maybe 6, maybe 7 years out. You pick the date, something that's meaningful to you. And what I want you to do is just describe your ideal life. Just describe your ideal life. You know, what does it look like? What's going on? Who are you with? Where are you? You know, what can you see? Can you see the ocean? Can you see the mountains? Can you see both? You know, what are people saying? What are people feeling? What are people doing? You know, paint the picture if you like. Draw it in the moment. But make it rich, make it real. Yeah. So I'm just going to pause. I'm going to give you 5 minutes to really, really allow yourself to dream and just go. Okay, what I really want you to do is spend some time, Mozart time, over each of the next few days. You know, some of you might be weeks really coming back to that and coming back to that and working it and working it and working it. That's a brilliant place to spend some Mozart time, really thinking about where you'd love to get to. So when it's time for the if only test, you can pass it with flying colours. And this is something that really separate you from the vast majority of the population, that you get a very, very crystal clear idea of the life that you are building, and why it really matters to you, which is so important to keep you going in the tough times. And just remember the words of Michelangelo, that the danger for most of us is not that we set the bar so high that we miss it, but we set the bar so low and we hit it. And the bigger the goals that you set and the bigger the aspirations you have, as long as you put everything in place that we've talked about, that winning framework over the last 2 sessions, and some of the goal setting muscle we're going to build over this session and the next session, then you're going to move your life in the direction of your dreams and your goals. But think big. It's my strong aspiration for each and every one of you, because your subconscious mind really gets to work. And if you're Mozarting, you're giving yourself space to really, that application, that time to just think and capture your thoughts and build on your initial thoughts. This will take time. You need to keep coming back to that to really build it properly. And then the really skilled life builders, goal setters, if you look at the daily tasks, they're always in sky blue. Now, I have a color. Every time I see sky blue, it takes me back to my big aspirational goals, the life that I'm trying to build. So I associate the color. I'm a Coventry City fan who play in sky blue. For those who know anything about English football, they play in sky blue, so there's an association there. Every time I see sky blue, and sky blue, obviously, sky blue thinking, big thinking, it takes me back to the life that I'm looking to build. So I also have an emoji. You see the eagle emoji on pretty every single post that I do. Every time the eagle emoji appears, it reminds me of my purpose, to help people strive to reach their true potential by being the wind beneath their wings so they soar to new heights. I'm going to share this now. I was having some Mozart time the other day, and in fact, it was when I was on the treadmill, and I decided to rename my first book, which was going to be called 63 Lessons, but I'm going to call my first book Learning to Soar, 63 Lessons that can help change your life. The second book's going to be called Time to Soar. The third book's going to be called Dare to Soar. The fourth book's going to be called Soaring to New Heights. And for Sim Hall, the fifth book's going to be called Eagle to Eagle. And that's going to be my book series. That came from Mozart time. That came from movement. And I've just built on that. I didn't get all 5 titles in the first 5 seconds. I've just kept going back to it. And that's how the series kind of built. So the emoji takes me back. The color takes me back. And some people actually have a song or a band. Every time they hear the song, they hear the band, it reminds them of the life they're trying to create. I struggle with that one because every time, my favorite bands, it takes me back to a point when I remember that song. So it's taking me back, not taking me forward. But some people use that as well. Okay, now I'm going to give you just 2 minutes. I want you to do this really quick. Right at the start of the first program, I asked you to think about one thing that you wanted to achieve in 2019. I'm going to ask you to write down 3 or 4 things you want to achieve by the 31st of December 2019. So we've got a massive picture, and don't worry about that. That's just a kind of set and forget, and it's one to come back to over the next few days and weeks and keep working on it. Now I want to bring it back. I want to bring it back to the 31st of December 2019. You were there. It's New Year's Eve. You're looking back on 2019. What are 3 or 4 things that you're going to be so pleased that you've achieved this year? Don't overthink it. We can refine this, and this is part of the homework over the next week. The daily task is to refine. Just write down 3 or 4 things you'd love to achieve, any aspects of your life. Don't worry about it by the end of 2019. I'll give you 2 minutes. Okay, let's go. England, I cannot wait. I'm 27th of June, Nottingham, Nottinghamshire County Cricket Club. The actual venue for the day is the Derek Randall Room. Derek Randall was my first idol as a kid. I loved cricket as a kid, and he was my first idol. And I'm doing my first ever What Winners Do live event in the Derek Randall Suite at Nottinghamshire County Cricket Club. Nottingham is the city where I first started to really soar to new heights. So everything's coming together. You know, it's just so exciting. Scotland, you know, we're going to get to you as well on that visit. And then for those of you in the States and Canada, you know, I am thinking big. I'm going to be big in the United States and Canada, and also my goal is this year I want to break into the Indian speaking market as well. So you know, I've got to get moving. I'm pumped, but I've got so much to do. Okay, so you've started to write down some things. Now at the end of the session, I want you to go back to those things you've written down and rewrite them like this. It is the 31st of December. I feel amazing because. It is the 31st of December. I feel amazing because I have or I have achieved XYZ. So write it like that. It is the 31st of December. I feel amazing because I have, or I have achieved, or whatever fits with what it is that you're looking to do. Fantastic. Okay, now I want you to write down and capture these 7 goal-setting promises to yourself. And then I'm going to give you a framework, the first framework, and then in the second session, we're going to get into the power of 10, which really helps you operationalize your goals or bring your goals to life is a much better way of saying that. Okay, here's the 7 goal-setting promises, and I'm going to be bombarding you with the daily tasks all around goal setting for the week. Capture these 7 promises. Number 1, you've already started on this. I will write down my goals. Please write that down somewhere in your journal. Number 2, I will share my goals with at least 3 people. I will share my goals with at least 3 people. Now, pick the right people. Winners go to winners, players go to players, eagles go to eagles. Avoid the dream stealers, the goal crushers, you know, the victims, the cynics, spectators, the mediocre people who want you to stay mediocre. Pick the right people. Share it in the gift zone. The more frequently you share, the more often you share. It's amazing how the universe conspires to help you. You know, so share frequently, share often. You know, before I ran my marathon in 2008, I was an enormous guy. I was so out of shape. I'd never run more than 5 kilometers. I stood on a stage and shared the goal. Next thing that happened was a woman in the front row laughed. You know, I can still see her face and I can still hear her laugh. And just by sharing that goal, that really inspired me to say, I'm going to do this thing. I'm going to prove to you I can do this thing. Now, she was a bit of a, you know, a dream smasher, a goal smasher, if you like. So it wasn't necessarily the ideal, but, you know, I just share my goals with everyone, put them out there. Now, you may want to be a little bit more cautious, but I need you to share them. You know, share them with me, share them with the gift zone. Amazing people in this gift zone 63. It's just a beautiful group of people. Share them with 3 of your winning circle, the people you go to. Share them with your accountability buddy, which I'll also come back to because that's one of the others. Number 3, create a visual representation of your goal. Now, some of you have done amazing work and put beautiful things into the gift zone. And I know some of you have created stuff outside of the gift zone, which is just amazing. Now, it may be just a screensaver. It may be a full-on vision board. It may be just some other drawings that you've got around that remind you. And put them in a few places. The more places, the better. The more often you see your goals, the better. Then number 4, visually break it down. Now, I'm going to ask Sim Hall, who's the UK ambassador for the What Winners Do program. Is an amazing person, Sim. Now, she did a beautiful thing. She was on the first program, and she's also on this program. And I talked about this, breaking down your goals into meaningful chunks. And Simone, I won't steal her thunder, but she's got this beautiful house image, and she's broken it all down, and she crosses out blocks. I think it's every time she's saved £1,000 towards an investment property. Just a beautiful example of that. I talked to, mine's not as well drawn. Mine's just numbers 1 to 52. So I've broken down that marathon goal, and every time I achieve a marathon, I just cross one off. So you have to break it down, but make it visible again. You know, that really helps. Number 5, get an accountability partner. Get an accountability partner. So it's one thing sharing your goals, but if you actually have someone who truly keeps you accountable, it may be one of the same people, that you share your goals with. It may be actually, someone else. You ask of them a different thing. Some of you are just sharing. This person, you're asking them to keep you honest, to keep you going. This is how Leona and I work together. I push her on her goals. She pushes me on my goals. But it's a really valuable thing to have as an accountability partner. Number 6, commit to at least one action every day. This is a promise you've got to make to yourself. It was the 5th A in the A frame of success. Success, goals, mindset, activity. You have to take continuous action. Commit to a minimum of one action per day that's going to take you in the direction of your goal. Number 7, journal your ideas, your progress, your thoughts, your frustrations. Just get it out of your brain and get it down. Just journal how you're feeling as you make progress towards your goals. It's just a great process to clear the brain and just get it down. And you can just reflect on your progress as you read these things back over a period of time. So journaling is very, very powerful just to capture the emotion of how you feel as you make track in the direction of your goals. And here's a bonus one. Reread your goals every day. Grant Cardone, who I know Luke Hannon and I have invested quite a bit of time listening to Grant. He's the guy who talks about 10x rule and supersizing all your goals and then supersizing all your action to achieve your goals. He writes and reads his goals every single day. Strongly encourage you to at least reread your goals every single day. Mine are hitting me right in front of me. There they are on the wall. Run 42.2 kilometers a week, listening to self-development. Meditate 365 days a year. An act of gratitude 365 days a year. Break into the USA and Canada. Break into India. Sell out the UK What Winners Do events. Sell 2,000 journals. Publish my first 2 books. It's up there, bang. And then I've got broken down. I've got my 52 marathons up there. I've got a thing on the wall that says goals plus mindset plus activity equals success. It's what winners do. I've also got an act as if statement. Act as if I am a global speaker who's published multiple best-selling books and the world's most sought-after journal collection. Boom, it is smacking me in the face every time I sit in this office. And then I've got some detail in terms of some of the goals. In my UK goal, for example, all of the actions I have to take to deliver that goal, I can see them right in front of me. So I take at least one action in the direction of achieving that goal every single day. So there's 7 plus 1. Okay, time is moving fast. We're gonna nail this really, really quickly and let you get on with your life and get to work on this goal achievement. So here we are. You've gone big, and then you've drawn it back to 3 or 4 things you want to achieve by the 31st of December. Now we're going to get really action orientated and bring it to the end of July 2019. I want you to see yourself on a stage, and you are picking up the award of your choice. The award is for publishing your first book. The award is for running your first marathon. The award is for raising the most money for your charity. The award is for being the most amazing father. The award is for being the best salesman in the Primus Group. The award is for being the best leader in Medibank. The award is for helping more customers go on the most amazing holiday as part of the Travel Beyond Group than ever before. Whatever it is, you see yourself on the stage, you are picking up the award of your choice. So I'll just give you a minute to lock into something that has to really have meaning for you. You're on a stage. You're picking up the award of your choice. The best netball coach in Wollongong. The best new violinist in Singapore. Something that's really, really meaningful to you. I want you to visualize you are walking towards the stage to pick up that award. And you see someone on the stage. Now, this person needs to be someone who's significant in your life. It could be a boss, it could be a sister, it could be a friend, it could be someone you work with, someone you play sport with, depending on what it is, your accountability buddy. one of your eagle winning circle, but someone ideally you see it quite a lot. Because if you really lock into this, every time you see them, it takes you back to thinking about your goals. So that's why it's important you pick the right person. And you see that person, as you're walking to the stage, they are speaking about why you won that award. Now, I'm just going to give you a moment again. And in your Mozart time after this, I want you to capture exactly what they say about you. So you write down in your journal, you write down the award that you're going to win, and then you write down why you won this award. What is this? You write down who it is, and you write down what they say about you. Andy won this award because, you fill out that sentence. Lock in on the person, fill out the sentence. If you can't think of anyone else, think of me. And then you can join the next program, sign up for the next program, and then you'll see more of me and it'll keep reminding you of the goal you've just set. Okay, so you're on stage, you're winning the award of your choice. And as you're walking towards the stage, you're listening to the words of someone who's got real meaning in your life, what they're saying about you, and you're writing it down in your journal. Then you go through a very simple process. To win that award, I need to start, bang, bang, bang. Just give yourself a minute. Write down 3 or 4 things. To win that award, what do you need to start doing? To win that award, what do you need to stop doing? Don't overthink it. Bang, bang, bang. Write these things down. I need to stop wasting an hour a night playing TV. I need to stop playing games on my phone. What do you need to stop doing? To win that award, what do I need to continue doing? Now, here's a tip outside of this. Great goal setters, they continue to do the things that they love. If you love riding horses, keep riding horses. If you love playing tennis, keep playing tennis. If you love reading fiction, keep reading fiction. Because if you think, I've got to stop reading fiction, playing tennis to have more time to achieve my goal, you'll get frustrated because you love doing those things. And you'll get resentful. And there's more chance you'll give up your goal because you've given up playing tennis, you've given up reading fiction. So it's really important you keep doing the things that you love. So to achieve that goal, to be on that stage, what do I need to continue doing? So things you're doing already that are taking you in the direction of achieving that winning that award and achieving that goal. Within that, to win that award, what do I need to do more of? So what do I need to start doing, stop doing, continue doing, do more of? I've said to a couple of you, it's in the gift zones, a couple of the things I'm working on this year. I didn't meditate every single day last year. Goal, 365 days this year. I didn't do an act of gratitude every single day last year. 365 days this year. I'm improving my ability to debrief this year. I'm better than most, but I'm not amazing. So I'm really, really focused on my debriefs this year. I need to do more of it, more consistently than what I was doing next year. So start, stop, continue. Do more of. What do I need to do differently to win that award? So if you go right back to the first session, we spoke about gift. G was for go, I was to investigate further, F was to forget, but it was also to fix. So maybe some things that you're doing, but they're not really working for you. And T, by the way, was to teach or tell others. So this might be some of the things that you've just got to fix. You need to just do them differently. Maybe you're a leader of a team and your sales meetings are getting, a bit boring, a bit stale. You still need to do them, but you want to do them differently. So this is giving you the license to do them differently. Important part of your rhythm, you just got to do them differently. And the last one, really, really important. Whose help do you need? to win that award and be on that stage. About what and by when. So I'm just going to give you a couple of minutes to rattle through that. What do you need to start doing, stop doing, continue doing, do differently, do more of, and whose help do you need, about what, and by when. Okay, amazing. Last few minutes. So I really need you to work on this stuff outside of this session. You know, and every day the daily task will be dropping stuff in. There'll be a few gift bites in there, a few little videos, one by my son, a couple by myself, just around goal setting, just to help to keep you thinking in this zone around goals and help you refine and really get moving in terms of taking, you know, activity. And then next week we'll use the power of 10. You can find that in the What Winners Do journal, the 1 + 3 + 6, which enables me to take a big goal, break it down and put it into action. So what I want to do with this before we finish this session is you've now got this list of things you're going to start, stop, continue, do more of, do differently, and you're starting to think about who can really help you with this goal and what you need their help about and by when. So then all I want you to do is say, well, if that's where I've got to be by the end of July, where do I need to be by the end of May? Where do I need to be by the end of March? And where do I need to be by the end of February? Just break it down, bring it back, put some milestones in place. And again, you're going to have to spend some time. I'm giving you the frameworks, the context. You're going to have to put some work into this. You've got to build the muscle, you know. No one got muscles watching me work out. You've got to work this stuff. You know, you've got to get out of the cave and you've got to commit. You've got to put effort in. You've got to put energy in. You know, this is transformational stuff. If you add the goal setting stuff to everything we've talked about over the first 2 sessions, you are going to soar to new heights. You've got to put the energy in, you've got to work it, you've got to put the effort in, you've got to refine it, you've got to keep coming back to it until you've got something sharp enough. So break it back down. Then, 2 more actions. Write down, depending where you are in the world, if you're in the US, Canada, Singapore, UK, Europe, Denmark, which is part of Europe, as is the UK. What are you going to do today? What is the first step you're going to do today? If you're here in Australia, New Zealand, what's the first thing you're going to do tomorrow? You know, the only way to start is to start. And the 2 words that really worry a goal coach. When people say to me, I'll give it a try, that always worries me, as you know. And people say, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. When are you going to do it? Just do it, you know? Ready, aim again, aim again, aim again. Versus decide, commit, go, 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 go. The only way to start is to start. So what is your first action? When are you going to do it? Lock it into your diary. Get going. And finally, I want you to write yourself a card or a postcard. And I want you to write on the postcard, I want you to write to yourself. It's got to arrive towards the end of February. But, you know, you write it as if it is the 31st of July. You're writing to yourself. So you date it the 31st of July. Dear me, I feel absolutely amazing because I've just walked on stage to pick up the award as bang. It was wonderful to hear so-and-so talking about me. Here's a couple of things from what they said. This is what I did to achieve that goal. So write to yourself, but don't wait until the end of the period. You want it dropping on through the post at the end of February. So if you're not taking sufficient action, it's going to be a Kickstarter. It's going to be a reminder. You know, you've got your accountability buddy. You're reading your goals every day. You've shared it. You've taken action consistently. But this is going to be a real Kickstarter and accelerator for you. And then I'd love you to do it again. As soon as the first card arrives, you write another one. And you get your accountability buddy or your partner or someone else to post it. So it arrives a few weeks later. And it just keeps you making progress in the direction of your goals. So that's it for the third session. It's been absolutely amazing. I'm really excited to work with you to help you to build some goal setting muscle. Wherever you are in the world, this is your time to soar. Keep winning, keep using the gift zone, keep asking questions, keep building the muscle. It's absolutely amazing. I'm really pumped. I'm really excited. I'm really energized. Can't wait to get to the UK to smash that little baby out of the park. Love you to be there. Love your support. Spread the word, share the word, and let's all soar to new heights together. Take care. Keep winning.